Marilyn Monroe was desired by everyone and truly respected by almost no one. Presidents wanted her. Studios built entire franchises on her face, her body, her image. She was the most photographed woman of her era. Men crossed rooms, crossed continents, abandoned marriages for her. The whole world wanted Marilyn Monroe. And yet, her own studio paid her a fraction of what her male co stars earned. Directors spoke to her like she was an inconvenience. The men who were obsessed with her publicly dismissed her intelligence. She fought for years to be taken seriously as an actress and was laughed at for trying. She was used, managed, medicated, and ultimately discarded by an industry that had made billions from her image while treating her like she was replaceable. She was the most desired woman alive. She was also one of the least protected, least considered, least respected women. And that gap between how much she was wanted and how little she was valued is exactly what we are talking about today. Because Marilyn Monroe's story is not just a Hollywood tragedy, it is a masterclass in one of the most important distinctions a woman can understand: the difference between attraction and respect, and why being desired, being wanted, being found beautiful has almost nothing to do with how you will actually be treated. Let's define both clearly because they get conflated constantly, and that conflation costs women enormously. Attraction is based on how you look and how you make someone feel in the moment. It is immediate, instinctive, and entirely about their response to you. It is not a reflection of your value. It is a reflection of their appetite. A man who is attracted to you is telling you something about himself, not about you. Respect is based on who you are, how you carry yourself, what you stand for, and how consistently you show up. It is earned over time through character, through integrity, through the way you move through the world. It is not given freely and it is not withdrawn easily. Once genuinely established, it is very difficult to take away. One of these currencies is stable, the other is not. Attraction fades, shifts, transfers. It is based on variables that are largely outside your control. Respect accumulates, it compounds. It follows you into rooms you have never been in because it travels with your reputation, your presence, your track record. Women have been taught to prioritize attraction, to be desirable, to be wanted. And wanting has been sold as the goal when it is actually one of the most unstable things you can build your self-worth on. Because the same man who is attracted to you today will speak over you in a meeting tomorrow if he does not also respect you. The same industry that puts you on a poster will pay you less than your male co-stars if it does not also take you seriously. Here's the thing about attractiveness that women need to hear. It is not a fixed thing. It shifts with trends, with age, with culture, with who is doing the looking. What is considered beautiful in one decade is unremarkable in the next. What one culture prizes, another does not. The standard moves constantly, and it was never set by women. A woman who ties her self-concept to being attractive is handing her sense of value to an ever-changing external standard that was never in her control. She is building her worth on something that depreciates. And every time the standard shifts, every time she ages, every time she enters a room where her particular version of attractive is not the one being celebrated, she loses ground, not in reality, in her own sense of herself. Respect operates on a different frequency to attraction. In an ideal world, it would be entirely immune to appearance. In reality, we do not live in that world. Age, weight, how you present yourself, these things affect how people initially receive you, and we would be lying to pretend otherwise. But here's the distinction that matters. While attraction is almost entirely determined by appearance, respect is ultimately earned through character, consistency, and how you hold yourself. A woman can walk into a room and be underestimated based on how she looks. But what she does in that room, how she speaks, how she holds her ground, what she demonstrates, is what determines whether she leaves with people's respect. Appearance sets the initial conditions. Character determines the outcome. This is why respect matters more. It's the only currency worth building your life around. It is the one thing that stays with you regardless of what changes around you. Demanding respect is not a speech you give. It is a standard you live so consistently that people understand it without being told. Here's what that actually looks like. She does not shrink her intelligence to make others comfortable. In professional spaces, in social spaces, in any room where her capability is relevant, she does not soften what she knows, qualify everything she says, or make herself more palatable because someone in the room is threatened by her. She speaks with the full weight of what she knows and she lets the room adjust. She does not allow her appearance to become the topic when her substance should be. When a conversation reduces her to how she looks rather than what she brings, she redirects it calmly, without making it a scene, but firmly enough that people understand what she will and will not participate in. She addresses disrespect once, clearly. She does not repeat herself, escalate, or spend energy convincing someone to treat her well. She states what she requires once, and then she watches what happens. What happens next tells her everything she needs to know about whether this person or situation deserves more of her time. She is not available to be desired and dismissed simultaneously. A man who finds her attractive but does not consider her his equal does not get access to her. Attraction without respect is not a relationship. It is a transaction, and she is not for sale. She understands that the tone is set early. Every dynamic establishes its terms in the beginning. What she accepts in the first conversation, the first date, the first week, the first meeting, becomes the baseline for everything that follows. The woman who demands respect does not wait until she is deep inside a dynamic to start requiring it. She requires it from the first interaction. Marilyn Monroe was desired by the whole world and protected by almost no one. Her story is not a cautionary tale about fame or Hollywood. It is a lesson about what happens when a woman is valued for what she looks like rather than who she is. When attraction is mistaken for worth, when being wanted is confused with being respected. You are not Marilyn Monroe, but the dynamic she lived in its most extreme, most public form is alive in the everyday lives of women everywhere. In the professional room where your ideas are taken less seriously than your appearance. In the relationship where you are desired but not truly considered. In the social dynamic where being attractive makes you visible but not credible. Understand the difference between the two currencies, build the one that compounds, and stop optimizing for being wanted when what will actually change your life is being respected. I'll see you in the next one. If this resonated and you want to go deeper, the full life audit is linked in the description. 43 pages, no fluff, just the work.